She slammed the paper against my cabin door like she was delivering a death sentence. $30,000, she hissed, jabbing her finger at the fine notice. I stared at her, more confused than angry. You do know, this cabin isn't even in your HOA, right? Karen smirked like she'd caught me in a crime. We've extended our boundaries. This is our jurisdiction now. I almost laughed, but then I saw the bold letters. Failure to comply will result in legal action. You've got 30 days to pay, she said, loud enough for my neighbor to hear. I stepped outside, the cold air biting my face, and lowered my voice. Karen, you don't have that kind of power. Oh, we'll see about that, she snapped, pulling out her phone. Within seconds, she was pretending to be on a call with a code enforcement officer. She even said my name into the phone, like she was reporting a fugitive. By the time she left, I wasn't just annoyed, I was curious. This wasn't just about a fine. Something told me Karen and her HOA board were up to something big, and if they were going to push me into a fight, they'd better be ready for the kind of fight I'd been trained for, because I wasn't just a cabin owner. I was the man who'd once taught federal agents how to win them. The next morning, a bright orange sticker was plastered across my cabin's front window: condemned, unsafe structure, entry prohibited. Karen was leaning against her shiny SUV at the end of my driveway, sipping coffee like she'd just conquered a nation. Guess you'll have to move out now, she said with a fake sympathetic smile. For safety, of course. I pulled the sticker off slowly, keeping my eyes on her. Unsafe structure. This cabin passed inspection last month. She didn't even blink. Not by our inspector. That's when a black pickup rolled up. 2 men in reflective vests hopping out. They didn't look like county workers, no ID badges, no official logos, just cheap printouts on clipboards. One of them pointed at my porch. We'll have to seal this off. Not happening, I said flatly. Karen folded her arms. Refuse and we'll file for immediate demolition. My jaw tightened. They thought they could bully me out. But here's what they didn't know. Every word they'd said, every fake threat was being recorded by my security cameras and sent to a cloud drive they couldn't touch. And I wasn't the only one watching. A friend of mine, who just happened to be an attorney for the state, had called me the night before. I'd sent him the fine notice. His exact words? They've just committed about 5 different crimes. Don't stop them. Document everything. So I smiled at Karen for the first time. Go ahead. Do what you need to do, because the deeper they dug this hole, the harder they'd fall in court. 2 days later, I came back from a supply run to find my driveway, chained shut with a brand new padlock. Karen was there again, this time flanked by 3 HOA board members like she was leading a royal procession. You're officially trespassing on our property now, she announced, waving a stack of papers like they were the 10 Commandments. I raised an eyebrow. Funny, because the county land records say this is mine. Every inch of it. One of the board guys stepped forward, smirking. Not anymore. We filed an easement change. This is all HOA territory now. I didn't even bother arguing, I just pulled out my phone and started recording. Care to repeat that for the camera? They froze. Karen's fake confidence flickered, but she recovered fast. Record all you want. You'll see it in court. Perfect. That was exactly what I wanted her to say. What she didn't know was that my state attorney friend had already checked the easement change. They bragged about it didn't exist. In fact, forging something like that's a felony. I walked up to the chain and padlock, snapped a close-up photo, and sent it straight to my lawyer with the caption, "They've just committed property interference." Karen called after me, "Enjoy the walk to your cabin." Like it was a clever insult. What she didn't notice was the unmarked SUV parked just up the road. Inside, 2 real investigators were quietly filming her. The very next morning, I woke up to the sound of boots on my porch. Not the soft shuffle of a delivery guy. This was heavy, deliberate. When I opened the door, 2 officers were standing there in mismatched uniforms, badges clipped on like they'd come from a costume shop. Karen stood behind them, arms crossed, grinning like she'd finally won. "This is an eviction," one of the fake cops barked. "You need to vacate immediately." I tilted my head. Eviction? For what crime? Failure to comply with HOA regulations, he replied without blinking. Karen chimed in. I told you this would happen. I let the silence hang for a moment, then stepped aside. Come on in. They hesitated, clearly not expecting that. As they crossed the threshold, the tiny red light on the corner of my living room camera blinked to life. Every word, every face captured in crystal clarity. "Mind if I see your badges up close?" I asked casually. The shorter one shifted nervously. "That's not necessary." "Oh, but it is," I said, my voice just a little sharper now. "Because impersonating an officer is a federal offense." "And my camera here?" "It's live streaming to the county sheriff's department." Karen's smile finally broke. "He's bluffing," she snapped. Right on cue, my phone buzzed. A message from the real sheriff. "Keep them there. Deputies en route." I leaned against the wall, looking at the three of them. "Looks like you'll be getting your day in court a little sooner than you thought." Within 15 minutes, the sound of sirens echoed through the trees. A real sheriff's cruiser pulled up, dust swirling around it. Karen's face went pale, but she tried to hold her ground. "Officer," she said sweetly as the deputy stepped out. "We were just enforcing community rules." "Community rules?" He cut her off, glancing at me. "This property is outside HOA jurisdiction. We've already confirmed it." The taller fake cop tried to speak, but the deputy raised a hand. "IDs now." They hesitated, then slowly handed them over. The deputy's jaw tightened. "These aren't law enforcement credentials. You're under arrest for impersonating officers, trespassing, and attempted unlawful eviction." Karen's composure cracked completely. "You can't arrest me?" "I'm on the board." The deputy looked almost amused. "You're about to be on the booking list." As they cuffed the two imposters, Karen kept shouting about her authority. The deputy finally turned to her. "Ma'am, you're also under investigation for conspiracy and property interference. You might want to call a lawyer." She was still yelling when they put her in the back of the cruiser. I stood on the porch, arms folded, watching the SUV drive away. My phone buzzed again. My attorney. "This is just the start. With the footage we've got, the whole board is going down." I smiled, for real this time. Karen thought she could fine me 30 grand. Now she was looking at felony charges. And her precious board was about to crumble in court. By the end of the week, subpoenas were flying like confetti. Every member of the HOA board got one, hand-delivered by the sheriff's office. I was sipping coffee on my porch when the vice president of the board stormed up my driveway, red-faced. "Do you have any idea what you've done?" he shouted. I set my mug down slowly. "Yeah, I stopped a criminal racket pretending to be an HOA." He pointed a trembling finger at me. "We're a recognized association. We have rights." I chuckled. "Recognized? Sure, but not here. You crossed your boundary line and the law." "Right then." My attorney pulled up in his truck, stepping out with a thick binder. "Good morning," he said to the VP. "You might want to save your breath for the judge." The VP's eyes darted between us. Then he turned and stomped off, muttering something about ungrateful cabin squatters. That night, the local news ran the story. Headline: HOA board accused of fraud impersonating police. Footage from my cameras played on loop. Karen's fake notices. The bogus cops, the illegal padlock. Social media ate it up. The comments section was brutal. "I hope they decorate her cell with HOA violation letters. 30 grand fine. She's gonna wish it was only that." The public heat was so bad, 3 board members resigned before the trial even started. And when court day finally came, I walked in calm, knowing every piece of evidence was airtight. Karen, on the other hand, wouldn't even look at me. The courtroom was packed, locals, reporters, even a few former HOA members who'd clearly come for the show. Karen sat at the defense table, arms folded, whispering furiously to her lawyer. The rest of the remaining board members looked like they hadn't slept in weeks. When the judge entered the room,